Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've ever thought about building a DIY home solar system, you've probably hit a wall of intimidating, headache-inducing math. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? It usually involves a mountain of confusing formulas that honestly make you want to throw in the towel before you even buy a single wire. But today, we're changing that. We're pulling directly from a highly practical guide by InfoGuide NG to show you the shortcut formula. We're going to completely bypass the headache and get straight to the numbers you actually need to know. Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll cover the solar sizing shortcut, then we'll get into sizing your inverter correctly, matching batteries to your personal habits, and we'll wrap it all up with wires, breakers, and safety. Okay, let's jump right into section 1, the solar sizing shortcut, where we are demystifying the panel math. So, how many solar panels you actually need? It's literally the very first question every beginner asks. And usually trying to answer it leads you into this deep maze of complicated formulas involving peak sun hours, daily averages, and just a whole lot of head scratching. Honestly, it's so easy to get stuck right here at the starting line.
Well, to get started, all you need to do is look at your actual everyday life. Just grab your most recent monthly electricity bill. You're looking for one specific number on there, your total kilowatt-hour consumption. Seriously, don't even worry about daily averages right now. That monthly bill holds the absolute key to sizing your entire system, simply because it's the truest reflection of how much power your household actually consumes.
And here is where the brilliant shortcut comes in. Are you ready? Just multiply that monthly kilowatt-hour number by 10. That gives you your total required solar panel wattage. That's it, times 10. No complex algorithms, no pulling your hair out over geographical sun radiation charts, just a super simple multiplier. Let's put this into practice with a real-world example. Say you look at your bill, and your monthly consumption is 449 kilowatt-hours. Multiplying that by 10 means you instantly know you need 4,490 watts of total panel capacity. Boom! You literally just calculated your solar generation needs in about 3 seconds. Now, you might be wondering why times 10? What's really fascinating about this trick is that it automatically builds in a safety buffer. Solar systems aren't perfectly efficient, right? Wires get hot, inverters use up a little bit of power, and, well, clouds happen. This times 10 shortcut intrinsically accounts for roughly 80% system efficiency and all those standard energy losses. It makes sure you aren't left sitting in the dark when conditions outside aren't absolutely perfect. So we know you need 4,490 watts. To figure out the actual physical number of panels you have to buy, just divide your 4,490 watt total by the specific size of the panels you want. Let's say you're buying large 600 watt panels. You just divide 4,490 by 600, which gives you 7.48. Then you simply round that up to 8 panels to give yourself a nice margin of error. Just like that, you know exactly what to order. Moving right along to section 2, sizing your inverter correctly, which is the brains of your system. Think of the inverter as the central brain of your whole setup. It takes the raw solar energy coming from your panels and translates it into usable AC power for your house, the stuff that runs your TV, your fridge, your lights. You have to balance 2 main factors to get the right size here, matching your input with your output. First, look at the input. If you've got about 4,500 watts of solar panels, you obviously need an inverter that can physically accept that much incoming power, like a 5 or 6 kilowatt inverter. But you also absolutely have to look at the output side, which is your load. You need to add up the wattage of all the appliances you plan to run at the exact same time. If your simultaneous load is, say, 5,253 watts, a 6 kilowatt inverter is exactly what you need to handle that peak demand without shutting down on you. But here's a really crucial tip. You should never, ever maximize your inverter's absolute limit. It's kind of like driving your car. You wouldn't drive it with the RPMs maxed out in the red zone all day, every day, right? Keeping your inverter around 80% capacity is the secret to making it last. So if you have a 6 kilowatt inverter, aim to keep your maximum simultaneous load between 4,800 and 5,000 watts. Giving it that operating margin keeps the system cool and healthy for years. All right, section 3, matching batteries to your habits. This is the stomach of your solar setup. Your battery needs aren't just about hard numbers. They depend entirely on your personal daily habits and your lifestyle. When you break it down, you quickly realize why your routine dictates your hardware. Morning users who run their AC and major appliances while the sun is shining can actually get away with a much smaller 100 amp-hour battery. Why? Because the panels are powering the home directly during the day. But what about evening users who are at work all day
and then come home to fire up the laundry, the oven, and the AC at night? They need massive 200 to 300 amp hour reserves to store all that daytime sun for nighttime use. And if you consider yourself a balanced user with steady usage around the clock, leaning towards a larger 300 amp hour capacity is smart because it gives you that vital reserve power for rainy days or extended grid brownouts.
Finally, let's get into Section 4, wires, breakers, and safety, the veins and shields of the whole operation.
Now we absolutely must shift our focus to safety. Before we size any of our solar cables, we need to understand a very specific metric called the short circuit current, or ISC. You can actually find this number printed right on the back of your solar panels. It basically represents the absolute maximum electrical current your panels could possibly produce under perfect conditions. This is our baseline for keeping everything perfectly safe.
Using that ISC, let's just say it's 15.51 amps for our example panels, we know exactly how to size our PV or solar cables appropriately. For a 15 amp current, you'll want to use a 4mm solar cable, which is safely rated for about 32 amps. That gives you a massive safety net. It is infinitely more reliable than trying to save a few bucks by skimping and buying a thinner 2.5mm cable.
Now for the AC side, the wires inside your house. To find out what wire thickness you need here, you just take your inverter wattage and divide it by your home's voltage. So, dividing a 6,000 watt inverter by a 230 volt system yields a requirement of 26.08 amps. Based on standard ratings, you'd need an AWG10 wire. That just stands for American Wire Gauge, which is the standard measurement for wire thickness. And hey, upgrading to an even thicker AWG8 wire offers even better safety and efficiency. Lastly, when it comes to the breakers, the parts that act as your literal safety shields, you can't just match the amps exactly. You have to apply a strict 1.25 safety multiplier to your base amperage. This extra 25% tolerance allows for temporary, totally normal surges in power without causing your system to just completely shut off in the dark. That's what the pros call nuisance tripping, and trust me, you want to avoid it.
Let's see that formula in action on the solar or DC side. You take the panel's 15.51 maximum amps, multiply by our 1.25 safety tolerance, and you get 19.38 amps. This shows us exactly why choosing a standard 20 amp DC breaker is the perfectly safe choice for this array. And repeating that same process for the home, or AC side, we take our 26.08 AC amps and multiply it by 1.25. That gives us 32.6 amps. Since you obviously can't go to the store and buy a 32.6 amp breaker, this leads us straight to selecting the nearest standard size up, which is a 40 amp AC breaker. And just like that, your entire system is protected. So there you have it. You now have the exact shortcut to bypass all that confusing math. You know how to size your panels straight from your monthly bill, how to balance your inverter, how to choose a battery based on how you actually live, and how to protect your home with the right wires and breakers. By demystifying these numbers, you really are empowered to safely and confidently take control of your own home energy setup. So I'll leave you with this. What's stopping you from grabbing that monthly electric bill right now and discovering your true solar potential?